Ethics. This is the Envoy, and we're about to upgrade the transmission. I got 12 quarts of Dextron 6, half-inch tubing, and a funnel. Let's get your pan under the truck, get your tubing ready, get a zip tie, and your needle nose. Alright, underneath the radiator, you're going to see two coolant lines, one on the driver's side, one on the passenger side. You're going to pull this snap ring back and undo this. Alright, now I got the half-inch tubing. Got this loosened up. I'm going to pull it towards the rear of the truck. Plug that up with my thumb. Pull it down and fit the hose over it. Put the other end in the bucket. Get it as far as you can on there. And then I put a zip tie around it and I'm going to tighten it up. Alright, once you get that hose on and attached and draining into the bucket, pull out the transmission oil dipstick. It's the one with this lock symbol. Flip it up, pull it out. I'm gonna go ahead and start the truck. Alright, got ATF pumping out nicely into the bucket. We're gonna keep that pumping until air starts coming out. And we're gonna shut her off. Alright, I'm underneath the truck. There's the tranny pan. I'm gonna remove all 16 of these bolts. I'm gonna start removing the pan. Let it drain. Alright, you're also gonna wanna loosen up these two bolts on the side of the heat shield so that you can get to the servo. Catalytic converters are still really hot, and I think I'm gonna take it out once it cools off. Alright, I'm taking the two out of the front corners. Alright, I'm taking the two out of the back corners. Alright, let everything drip and drain. Pour the pan out. Then I'm going to pull the filter. Okay, once you have the pan removed, you should be able to grab onto the filter and pull it down. Pops down. Here's the old filter, drained out. Okay, the next thing you're going to want to do is clean all that gunk and grime out of there. I'm going to use throttle body cleaner. It's a solvent. I'm going to clean all that stuff out of there. Alright, at this point, take out that magnet, clean it off real good, spray it out with intake cleaner. Wipe it down again. Alright, now I'm going to take this scraper and remove the old gasket. Wipe it down one more time. Alright, luckily I live next to Napa and they have the right filter. This is the old one. This is the new one. Exactly like the old one I just bought at Napa. And this is the one I ordered from Rock Auto that was supposed to be for a deep pan, and it's obviously not. Alright, now I'm taking apart the cat converter and bolted it there. Pulled the hanger back a little bit. And now I'm unbolting the front. I'm going to remove the accumulator piston pump. If you look towards the back of the transmission, there's a pump right here, straight up and down with a 16 on it. And there's one right here. The one up and down is the one too. I'm gonna remove it with a 10mm. Got the screws loose. It's gonna drip some. Alright, we got the accumulator piston pump assembly. Taking the old one out.
Joining me is Tony DeMossi, DJ Weapon X.
Putting the new spring in, leaving that one in.
We've got to be sure to set it in exactly the way
Drop it in
the
there
old
so
one came
everything's
out.
flat and lined up. And pop.
Make sure everything's nice and clean so you don't get any tranny fluid dripping in your eyes.
Okay, if you're looking at the transmission and you look towards the front, you'll see the boost valve up in this hole right here.
Just gotta figure out the angle to pop it out. So it's now loose and it's hitting on the flange. In the event that this happens, we're going to need to get a small file to file down this lip.
Alright, we're having to file that lip down so the old boost valve will come out.
Now note, when you're removing the boost valve, to keep the spring and assembly all together at once, so you see directly how it comes out.
It's almost
12. Yeah. Keep everything in order. Okay. It's completely clean. Okay. Now I'm not even going to redo anything except remove this straight off of there, and this is the old one, with the new one being clean. I'm gonna make sure there's nothing on the spring. The spring is in perfect order. And this is the top. This is the bottom, which it was released at. So we're gonna engage that, slide that in like so. I'm gonna slide this off here. Just check the spring to make sure there's no damage or any kind of breaking. No, it's completely in perfect working order. Wipe that down nice and clean. And slide that right on top of that. And then we're going to look at this to make sure there's nothing wrong and the transmission's in good working order. There's no metal fragments or frays. It's all in working order, leaving that T exactly the way I had it. Now it all goes back together just like so. And then we're going to reinstall it. So basically, I'm going to slide this back up into the chamber like so. All the way up in there until it spins in.
I can't get up in there, but you can see you install the snap ring and pop it in.
Alright, now we're putting the accumulator piston pump back in, securing the 3 bolts with a 10mm wrench.
Alright, the new filter.
The new filter is installed.
It just pops right in the hole.
Pops right into place.
We didn't reuse the seal.
Make sure everything's cleaned off.
To install the pan, you must tilt it sideways. Just pop a couple of these through. So you have something to line everything up with. You're gonna want to angle in underneath your shifter linkage. And there it is, right in place.
Alright, the transmission pan's back on.
And as you can see, I'm finger tightening these. You do not want to over torque them.
Alright, we're taking the cat out, removing that sensor wire. Unbolt the cross member. Putting her back in. Alright, put the cat bolt back in. Alright, the cat's in. Exhaust is back on and tightened up.